Support for this podcast comes from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, connecting communities with the resources, infrastructure, and networks to ensure a vibrant local free press.
From KVPR in Fresno, this is Central Valley Daily. It's Thursday, February 20th. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Coming up, 29,000. That's around the number of cars that parked each day last week at a farm show in one valley city.
It's crazy to watch piece by piece and step by step how the grounds just really expand and become World Ag Expo.
We go inside the world's largest farm trade show, but first, these news headlines. Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is reportedly in talks to become an advisor to a powerful water agency in California. KVPR's Crescencio Rodriguez Delgado has these details.
McCarthy is in talks to advise the Westlands Water District. That's what two sources tell the Sacramento Bee. Westlands Water District is the largest agricultural water district in the country. It oversees water deliveries in parts of the western San Joaquin Valley and represents well-connected valley farmers. And it gets much of its water from the federal government. McCarthy's potential role with the water agency comes as the new Trump administration is hardening its fight over California water. Trump signaled he wants to deliver more water to farmers as soon as he took office last month. For KVPR News, I'm Crescencio Rodriguez Delgado.
A California drug task force says it has seized more than 37 million pills of fentanyl since 2023. The seizures are part of the state's counter-drug task force that seeks to combat illegal drug trafficking. Governor Gavin Newsom's office says in addition to the drug seizures, the task force is increasing public education about drugs in schools. Valley Food Bank operators say they are facing an uncertain future. That's thanks to a funding freeze from the federal government that's putting their operations on uncertain grounds. Many food bank CEOs in the valley tell local news outlets that federal programs that fund them are still under review by the Trump administration. Counties like Tulare receive about $500,000 to support food bank operations. The food banks are asking the public for donations. One lucky person in the San Joaquin Valley is $10 million richer. News outlets report that a customer in Atwater won the prize from a scratch ticket this week. The winning ticket was sold at a gas station for $30. The identity of the lottery winner has not been revealed.
Join KVPR for an event with NPR senior White House correspondent Tamara Keith, Wednesday, February 26th at Fresno City College. Get an inside perspective on covering the White House for NPR at this in-person event. Tamara Keith grew up in Hanford before going on to cover world events and presidents for audiences nationwide. Seating is limited. RSVP for this free event online at kvpr.org/events.
And now to our main story. Each year in the West, a gathering the size of a city rises out of the dirt, attracting tens of thousands of people from around the world. But this isn't the Burning Man Art and Music Festival in the Nevada desert. It's right here in Tulare. It's the World Ag Expo, and it wrapped up last week. It's considered the world's largest outdoor farm show, and putting it together is a massive undertaking. KVPR's Kerry Klein visited to get a sense of the scale. She brings us these sights and sounds.
Walking through this farm show, you see a little bit of everything. You can test drive an ATV, go to a prayer breakfast, shop for an electric saw, mower, or harvester, and many folks just come for fun, like Micaiah Littlejohn from Alpaw. Her favorite part is the cattle demonstrations.
Oh, they're just so cute. The noises they make, and like their fluffy ears, their cute little nose.
She's got cows on her purse, hairband, and t-shirt. She and her boyfriend, John Blake Carter, also just ate a tri-tip sandwich and bought $80 worth of beef jerky.
It's really good. It's worth it. I guarantee you it's worth it.
It's very well seasoned and smoky.
Mm-hmm. Like Burning Man, the sheer scale of this expo can be astounding. 20,000 cars parked every day, 10,000 donuts handed out, 200 porta potties. But while the Nevada Festival is full of funky homemade cars, the World Ag Expo has tractors. Burning Man has performance art, And the Ag Expo has races to change tractor tires. And while Burning Man attracts around 70,000 people, Megan Lawston says the Ag Expo is even bigger.
Typically, we see over 100,000 attendees over the 3 days.
100,000. That's more people than live in Tulare. Planning started a year ago, and the setup took 2 weeks.
It's crazy to watch piece by piece and step by step how the grounds just really expand and become World Ag Expo.
Lawston is the marketing manager for the International Agri-Center. That's the massive fairground that puts on the Ag Expo. And she says the goal of the show is business networking as well as ag education.
We have seminars, which are great. They're free with admission into the show. And they teach you things from livestock to dairy to water, finance.
And then there's the food. Oh, the food. Just the smells of grilled tri-tip and sausages are mouth-watering. I stood in line for half an hour for a bowl of peach cobbler. Make sure you get it with the ice cream. The calories fuel you up to wander the labyrinth of 1,200 exhibitors. Many are companies showing off their newest tech, like Eco Robotics.
Eco Robotics is showcasing Aura, which is an ultra-high precision spot sprayer.
That's crop care manager Katarina Lee. Her company's sprayer uses artificial intelligence. Other companies show off autonomous vehicles and robots. Lee thinks that's all the future of ag as the labor force dwindles.
There's no other options for growers to go other than using AI and technology.
But not everyone is interested in cutting-edge tech. Damian Kuara just wants the basics, a tractor. He's a member of the Tachi-Yoket tribe in Lemoore. He says he's looking to spruce up a piece of land the tribe started cultivating a few years ago.
Right now we're just doing pomegranates and pistachios.
What are you hoping to do?
We're hoping to do some more like oranges was the topic, maybe raise some cattle, maybe open a dairy at some point.
That's another reason people come, to be inspired. This is kind of like a big playground in one of the most fertile ag regions in the world. At least one school district actually gives their students a whole day off to attend the show. This year's Ag Expo may be gone, but the seeds are already being planted for next year. For KVPR News, I'm Kerry Klein in Tulare.
And Kerry joins me now to discuss her reporting a little further. Hey, Kerry.
Hi, Liz.
So I know this wasn't your first time to visit the World Ag Expo. I'm curious how this year compared to your past visits.
Well, it is always a whirlwind. It's huge. Expect tons of walking. There are noises everywhere. There's music and it smells of so much food and everything else. And something I hadn't seen before this year, and maybe it's been there in previous years, I just hadn't noticed it, was a race that I mentioned in my piece. It's a race to change tractor tires as quickly as possible. It's called the Pit Stop Challenge. It's meant for kids, and kids were lining up for it. But I also saw a middle-aged man ask if he could compete. And the organizer told him, well, he had to wait and see if there were any open spaces after the kids were all accounted for. So I thought that was kind of charming and cute.
Totally.
Really, things for all ages here.
Yeah, you mentioned one company in your story, Eco Robotics. They're using artificial intelligence in their precision spray technology. Mm-hmm. What other kinds of cutting-edge tech did you see at the expo?
Well, precision really is a buzzword. There are all sorts of tools that aim to help growers reduce the amount of products and resources they use to cut back on costs and waste. There are electric vehicles, tractors, pesticide applicators, irrigators. There are autonomous vehicles like a motorized tray that moves along with farm workers to help carry the produce that they harvest and they don't have to hold as much. There are also autonomous machines that can help eliminate the fruit and nuts left over from last harvest, like the so-called mummy almonds that can still be stuck in the trees and need to be removed.
Okay, and last Friday, we actually aired this long-form interview that you did with Amy Wolf. She's the one who hosted a seminar on the challenges facing women in agriculture. Definitely recommend our listeners check that out if they haven't. But besides Wolf's talk, what were some of the other topics covered in the different seminars?
Yeah, it's lots of really interesting stuff that can be very broad, like that talk about women in ag, or really specific. And so there are the challenges and risks of bird flu. There are new innovations in the dairy industry, like feed additives to reduce methane emissions by cows. There's the state of the almond industry, discussions on cover crops and tilling technology, new breeding innovations, livestock birthing, and animal ultrasound advances. And then there were really fun demonstrations of like cattle roping, horse riding techniques. There were live cattle and livestock exhibitions there.
And you also teased us with the smell of tri-tip sandwiches, which I know are very popular there, and peach cobbler. Is there anything special or unique about the food there?
I think those are really the iconic foods. People rave most about them. And the peach cobbler, there's really only one food vendor, but the tri-tip sandwiches, you can get from lots of them. I did try the peach cobbler. It was really good. A lot of the food is kind of like fair food, but mostly the grilled kind, not the deep fried kind. I mean, you can get sausages, corn dogs, hot dogs, chicken sandwiches, baked potatoes, Frito boats, ice cream, you name it. But what's notable here is that every food vendor is run by a nonprofit organization, and all the proceeds go to those nonprofits. And Megan Lawston told me that last year, more than $1 million were raised for those organizations.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's huge. And actually, some people even told me that they go to the Ag Expo just for the food.
Amazing. Okay, that was KVPR's Associate Editor, Kerry Klein. Thanks for joining me in the studio.
Thank you.
And that's today's episode. Today's show was produced by Jonathan Linden and KVPR with support from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Find the latest local news anytime at kvpr.org.
Each morning, it's a new opportunity, a chance to start fresh. Up First from NPR makes each morning an opportunity to learn and to understand. Choose to join the world every morning with Up First, a podcast that hands you everything going on across the globe and down the street, all in 15 minutes or less. Start your day informed and anew with Up First by subscribing wherever you get your podcasts.